Outside of the Echo Chamber, the official I Dream of Indie Games podcast is brought to you by you, the gamer. If you'd like to join our mission to support indie visibility, head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames and bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming. Greetings, Indie Warriors, and welcome to what we strive to make the most entertaining podcast on the web in all of indie gaming. This is Outside of the Echo Chamber. I'm Old Gamer Joe, and joining me today is Silent Signs. Our mission is to celebrate the indie gaming scene, shining a light on its talented developers and publishers. We, of course, bring you daily reviews. That's kind of what we're known for around here, but we've got some awesome other shows, including upcoming indies each and every Monday. Patreon supporters get that show like 2, maybe even 3 days earlier than everybody else, and this very podcast also 3 days early, depending on your Patreon tier. Actually, that one is for every single Patreon tier, Indie Warrior and above. 3 days early, you can enjoy this podcast. So a huge thank you to all of you who keep independent content alive. We truly can't do this without you. Consider heading over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames, where you will gain access to the greatest indie gaming Discord community, along with all those other amazing perks that I talked about. We are on Spotify. We're on our YouTube channel. You can check us out in the podcast section there, and also on YouTube Music. All right, we're going to dive into all of the latest indie gaming news as we do. Go over we didn't play much, but we'll go over a game or two, maybe. I mean, we played stuff, but we can't always talk about it here. Unfortunately, embargoes, you know how that goes. And what's ahead on the channel? Our topic for today, however, is, are indie games poised to take over the gaming industry as AAA game costs continue to rise? We'll have more on that in the news. Silent Signs, how are you doing this morning? Yes, it is morning.
I'm doing fine. I'm sore because yesterday I sawed tree branches.
I saw you doing that, yeah. So last winter, we had a giant tree just miss our house, really.
It actually just narrowly kind of brushed the house as it was falling.
That is like dangerously close when you get out there and see just how it fell. We have a guardian angel or something that protected us.
Oh, I saw it happen.
Yeah, that must have been scary when it came down. Did you hear it as well?
Oh, we heard it.
It had to be pretty loud. So she's been sawing away at that, but also, so we rented this 15-foot dumpster, and it is full of shit. Like, gosh.
Not literally.
Not literal shit. But.
But a lot of things from our garage and our basement.
Yeah, I was throwing out stuff that I don't even remember having. There's chairs in there. There's old couches. Our garage was interesting.
That's what happens when you live somewhere for almost 8 years and you just collect stuff. And you also don't have a large vehicle that can transport things you no longer need to, say, a town dump.
Yeah, you touch on two of my goals there. I would like to have a vehicle where I can transport things in the future. And also, I'd like to be more organized wherever we end up living next. In fact, this podcast might be just a little bit shorter because we are going to an open house.
Yeah, it's
in just a couple hours.
Really
here.
Anything.
So, nothing too pressing, but I like doing open houses. Are you enjoying this trip into real estate, Silent Signs?
No.
No, you don't like the process?
No.
What don't you like about it? I think it's kind of fun to look at houses.
I find moving stressful. And
the moving part is.
I don't like thinking about it until it's like a reality factual, this is happening right now, because otherwise it just feels like dealing in hypotheticals, which is not something I enjoy.
I think like right now it kind of sucks because you still look around in your house and you have crap everywhere. But once you actually see the end product of this place being empty, you're going to be like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Again, though, not literally. There's not actual feces in our house. Well, I mean, we do have a cat, but we clean that.
No, but you're right. It's amazing how much stuff you just collect over the years and you don't even realize it. Before we knew it, our basement was full. I found all these old like retro games down in the basement that I'd forgotten about. I wish they were cared for a little better, but they seem to be mostly fine. So I've got our SNES all ready to get hooked up in our new place again. I'm going to be more careful about that, Silent Science, not collecting junk and actually utilizing the things that I have that I still want to use.
Fun fact, that is my OG SNES from when I was a child.
Yes, which I remember the day you were leaving your home, your childhood home.
Yes.
You dropped it
I did.
on the way out, and it survived.
It did.
You know,
It's
say what
still
you will about
going.
Nintendo, but they built a quality product back then.
That must have been from like 1994 that I got that.
Now, I wonder if you could drop a Switch and it
Hell
would survive
no.
that. I feel like probably not.
The screen's gonna crack.
Yeah.
It's maybe like the base of it. If you dropped that,
I would think,
probably be
especially
fine.
on a Switch 2, which is even more pricey and probably more delicate. But who knows? They've always done pretty good builds on their consoles for the most part.
Point is, get yourself a SNES. They're still going strong after all
Yes,
these
if you can
years.
find one out there. I don't know what they cost these days. I know the retro market was kind of through the roof.
But what
I've been
is
out of
it?
I
Honestly.
I don't really want to collect per se, but I do want to get a CRT TV again and be able to enjoy just a few of the really classic games that I enjoyed. Like, I'd like to have a copy of, I think I do have a copy of Super Mario World, for
Yes.
example. That's a great one just to have on the screen. It even brings you joy just to look at it sometimes, doesn't it? Like, if you just have, like, the screen running.
So you mean if you go by one of those retro stores and they have the game
I love
playing?
that. When you see, like, Super Mario 3 scrolling by and you're like,
kinda fun.
everything's good in the world.
I mean, not everything. Everything still sucks, but at least there's still Mario.
Yeah, you're right. And one of my other goals for the new home is to actually have more of a theme in my new office for I Dream of Indie Games. So it's going to definitely be, obviously, gaming themed. But I've been
way.
looking at some cool stuff, Silent Signs, like some
Bet you
retro neon lights, maybe to give it that 80s arcade vibe, that
Man,
80s, 90s.
I bought you the coolest
We're going to
neon
put this
light.
up once again, our I Dream of Indie light up mural.
I feel like
What
a
did we
lot
say?
of people have not seen that.
No, well, you would have to be here to see it. And only Barely Magic Mike and I think Rose have ever been to this office, right? In the history of our channel. I think so, right?
Ex-hardcore gamer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but he's more of a family friend for years. But yeah.
If you ever watched the I Dream of Retro channel.
Yeah. So that's something I should showcase more whenever we move to is our actual office and living space. I'll try to get some cool pictures once it's looking the way I want it to look. But until then,
And you don't have your like editing bottles all over.
Yes. Yeah, because it was chaos for a while in here. I was just chugging down waters or whatever else we had, working
stay
nonstop.
hydrated.
Still working nonstop. In fact, this week we'll be working even more overtime probably because we are heading to PAX. Silent Signs. We are heading to Boston, which for us is just a short hour and a half-ish, maybe 2 hours tops, depending on traffic.
It's a long hour and a half.
Drive.
Let's be honest.
Drive, I'm saying.
No, I know.
Oh, why do you say that?
It just always feels like you know how like sometimes you can drive an hour and you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I'm used to it.
When you commute an hour into Boston, it's like, whew, I feel like I really just like did something there. Like,
Yeah, there is a different vibe to driving into a major city.
Yeah,
for sure.
there's a lot more like hurdles and obstacles that make it feel like it's longer than if we just drove an hour into the countryside, you know?
We're staying at a bed and breakfast, though, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So, good times. All right. What else is going on in our lives? We saw Sinners, which I know Barely Magic Mike talked about. You enjoyed Sinners quite a bit?
I did enjoy it very much.
I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it, though.
I loved it.
What'd you like about it?
I loved the music. I loved the cinematography. I loved the acting. I loved that it reminded me of that time during my high school through college career where I was obsessed with like blues mythos and like, like selling your soul to the devil and like all of the things that people used to say about the blues. And
Yeah, the blues is really inspirational throughout music history. I mean, it is the basis for rock and roll, right? And so much of the music that we enjoy today.
Yeah.
So I thought the movie did a really great job of capturing that.
It's a freaking vampire movie.
So that's something that surprised me about this movie a little bit. I did not really know much about it going in, and it is indeed a vampire movie. Well, it's like 1/3 of a vampire movie, I'd say.
It's like 1/3 of a blues movie, 1/3 of
there's a lot
like,
going on. That's why it took me a few days to really process what I felt about the movie. People were asking me, did you like it? And I'm like, I don't know yet. And then I ultimately kind of fell on liking it. It's very well made, I have to say that.
Very well
Well
made.
shot, well acted. Good product. And I did not know that, forgive me for forgetting her name, but one of the actresses in this movie is married to...
Haley Steinfeld.
Thank you. Haley Steinfeld, yes. She's married to the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills.
I don't know who that is, and I don't care.
Josh Allen.
I couldn't care less.
I'm a big football fan. She's not, so.
No.
But I thought she was really good.
Also, Michael B. Jordan, always good.
All right, nothing really else exciting. I mean, there's a lot going on in our lives. I bought a lawnmower. I don't know how exciting that is. It is a Ryobi. electric
Ryobi.
one. So hopefully the battery doesn't die on me like the last 2 electric mowers I bought.
the
But I really don't want to mess around with gasoline.
No, shush. The thing about Ryobis is they have a 5-year warranty on their batteries, bro.
Yes, but we have to go punch it into the website like they told us
fine.
to. So we should do that before we forget.
The whole point,
They're hoping people forget that.
That's why they remind you when you're buying it?
Yeah, I suppose so. All right. Let's get into some news. There's a few stories this week, Silent Signs, some directly related to indie games and others just looking at the industry as a whole. And the big one here is Xbox game pricing. So following suit with Nintendo, Xbox has now announced that their games and their consoles are going to be getting more expensive as well. This comes from IGN, quote, "In an announcement today, the company said it will be raising prices on Xbox consoles, controllers, headsets, and some games. The price hike for consoles and accessories kicks in on May 1st. That is now then. This stuff costs a fuck ton more right now. And while game prices will stay the same for now, you should expect to see Xbox charging $79.99 for new first-party games around the holiday season, just in time for Christmas. Isn't that a wonderful gift from Microsoft?
No, when you say a fuck ton, what do you mean?
Yeah, so some of those prices, it looks like the Xbox Series S console will be going to $379.99 up from $299.99. The Series S with the 1 terabyte will be $429 now. The Xbox Series X $549, $550 basically, and the Series that was the digital $549, and then the disc version $600 if you want a Series X. Controllers also going up. You can see the prices here, Silent Signs.
Yeah, so basically
$70.
$80 to $100 increase on consoles.
Yeah, that's huge. That's really big. We're not used to consoles having a price increase, are we? Throughout history, we're always like, I'll pick that console up down the road when the price drops. Now, are people going to have to buy the consoles first for the price to not go up?
I want to understand though. So are they blaming the tariffs?
No, they're not actually, because this does not just affect the United States. This is actually global.
That's why I was wondering.
So they are following suit with Nintendo here. I think Nintendo did in fact have a big influence on this. They said, well, they're going to charge $80. They're going to charge more. We're going to do it too. And maybe this move was brewing with all the companies for a long time, which it probably was. What do you think of this, though, Silent Signs? So Xbox consoles have not been doing particularly amazing to start out at their current prices here in North America. This charge, I assume, will only lead to them doing even worse. How do you feel about this? You were never an Xbox person anyways, but...
I've never owned an Xbox. Would the Xbox still be more powerful than a Switch 2?
I would say yes. Yeah, especially if you get an X. Yeah, because they're saying a Switch 2 is about a PS4 with AI built into it. So
right. So
that AI can make a difference. But yeah, in terms of peak performance, yeah, an X would be more powerful.
They probably figure if it's going to be the same price anyway, why wouldn't you buy the more powerful?
Well, it's not, because the X is $600.
Right.
The Switch with Mario would be $500.
I guess.
So still $100 more. Yeah. You might have an argument there that it's like, okay, well, for $100 more, I can get a more powerful console. Yeah. That's true. All right. In other gaming related news, this is more gaming media, but the website Polygon was hit with massive layoffs. This comes from Ars Technica. Apparently, the whole company has been gutted amidst a sale to Valnet. Now, Polygon is not a site that I use very often. In fact, I don't use any websites really for gaming stuff anymore.
Other than youtube.com?
Yeah, pretty much. And even then, I'm not really consuming gaming content. So this didn't affect me so much, but I felt bad about it. I guess it affects me just as someone who works in the industry and feels for people that lose their jobs, that kind of thing. You weren't a visitor of Polygon, I'm assuming?
No. I'm not a consumer of much as far as internet, if we're being honest.
You know, the thing is, a lot of people are really confused by this, but when you work in games pretty much nonstop, and the indie game scene is nonstop except for a little bit of a layoff there in December, you don't want to look at games media. You don't want to talk about games in your spare time.
It's not even just games though. Like you just created a blue sky. That's cool for you.
Yeah.
I hate social media.
Yes. I was actually going to mention that. Thanks for reminding me. I should have mentioned that earlier. My Blue Sky account is up. If you do want to follow Old Gamer Joe, it's oldgamerjoe.bluesky, whatever they do. You can just search Old Gamer Joe on there and you'll find me. So,
you won't find me.
Yeah, feel free to follow. I will be giving opinions and other fun whatevers. Maybe sharing some pics of stuff. Not dick pics.
Not dick pics. Thank you for clarifying.
So our hearts go out to everyone at Polygon. Hope you land on your feet for those. I guess this was pretty surprising. They were not expecting this.
Well, weren't there a few stories of also YouTube channels shutting down this week?
Yes, there was the popular YouTube
Bomb.
channel Triple Jump.
Right.
And Giant Bomb as well, I believe, is
Something
coming to an
about
end.
them.
Yeah, I heard something about that. But to be honest with you, I thought Giant Bomb was gone a long time ago when Jeff Gerstmann left. Maybe they recovered a little bit, but I had not been following. So yeah, you're seeing a lot of death in games media currently, I guess.
I mean, I honestly understand. It gets really frustrating, I imagine, when you have some of those channels have 300,000, 500,000 subscribers and you're not getting that traffic that you once did.
Yeah, I guess that's what the folks over at Triple Jump were kind of saying. It's like, yeah, we have this big subscriber base. People are still clicking that see the videos, but YouTube is not pushing the videos anymore. And that's a problem for us too, for sure.
Not that I'm saying like, oh, we do much better than that. Well, obviously we don't, but like I can see how when that's your livelihood, that becomes so frustrating.
Not even that, but you have 7, 8 staff members in a case like that.
Yeah,
so
that's
a lot of people to pay for.
It is. And, you know, sponsors and things like that only goes so far. And they're usually looking for those numbers on your videos too. So in order to get those sponsors, you have to maintain those numbers. That's a whole like house of cards that falls apart once the viewership starts to.
Yeah, Silent Signs. I don't think a lot of people realize what a balancing act we play. So we have to figure out a way to cover indie games, but still be able to eat and survive. And that's a very tricky balance because a lot of these games just aren't being searched or pushed, unfortunately. So I hate to pick and choose. I want to cover as much as possible, even the smallest of indies, but sometimes it's just literally impossible.
Yeah.
We do games that are in the 1,000 view range quite often on this channel, and we know that going in. Any lower than that, you are spending a lot of time working and working. I mean, it's 8 to 10 hours, I would say, on a game at least,
but
right?
I mean,
minimum.
To kind of peel back the curtain here, for those, I mean, most of you listening probably are at least somewhat familiar with the team of us that have been here. But for those of you who have maybe not been with the channel for a very long time, it's Joe and I, and then Barely Magic Mike, who is usually here with us. And then we have maybe a few staff writers here and there.
There are a couple freelancers. We just added Ted. Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
There's no editor.
That's me. Yeah.
There's no staff. You know, we're just trying to keep up best we can. I have a full-time job. Barely Magic Mike has a full-time job.
Yeah, this is my full-time job.
And
I'm the audio editor. I'm the video editor. I'm sometimes the game reviewer. And I'm a jack of all trades.
Yes, but this is not to complain or anything like that. This is just some kind of clarity. I know I see the comments all the time like, oh, you guys should cover this game, or I want to see a review of this game. And oh my God, we would love to make that a reality. But the reality of our real situation is there's only a few of us and we're real short on time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I will never complain about a YouTube channel taking a sponsorship again in my life, because that is how you eat, pretty much. To peel back the curtain even further, you do not make shit on ad revenue.
No.
A lot of you probably know this. So if you get a video that let's say like 1,000 view video, Silent Signs, that's like maybe $2. $2 tops.
$2.
And you've spent probably 12 to 15 hours.
I was just going to say, 12 to 15 hours when
total.
Considering gameplay. And that's if it's not a very long game.
Right.
Writing, editing, uploading, and trying to, make sure it's
so
visible.
do the math out there. $2 on 12 hours of work. That's like what? That's that would be illegal, probably. In most jobs.
I mean, that's pennies on the hour.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's obviously not the only source of income on the channel, just for full transparency.
Right, yes.
You know, you've all seen we have a Patreon and we do get sponsorships, which we do try to keep indie focused.
We do the best we can with that. Yeah.
I think that's really
we do
important.
a great job with that, to be honest. Not to toot my own horn, but not a lot of channels get to do that. You know, they get to have the real theme of their channel as the sponsors, too.
Yeah.
So, all we ask is, you consider people out there sometimes. I know some of you don't like sponsorships and that kind of thing. It's a little annoying, but...
No, this wasn't even like a Patreon plug or anything. This is just some like transparency for anyone who's ever wondering about YouTube channels. Because I know before we made videos, I was always kind of curious how it all worked. And I was like, oh, wow, those people must be making bank. They've got 20,000 subscribers. They must be doing really well.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, you see the subscriber count and you're like, oh, they're definitely doing great. But really, it's the view count that kind of makes the difference. In the indie gaming scene, Very tricky to get views on indie games, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what our mission is. It's unbelievable that we've been able to do it this long. I think it's not the norm.
But my heart goes out there to
Triple jump for sure.
content creators that are struggling. I mean, we've struggled and we get it. And I feel for you. I really do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This channel has come close to not existing on a few cases.
Many times.
You know?
I can't tell you how many times I have peeled Joe off of the floor.
Yeah.
Not literally, but sometimes literally. And just said, take a break. Just sit on it for a while.
It's tough. You've seen me do the 50, 60, 70-hour weeks. And you busted ass too. So not take away anything. Barely Magic Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Kills it. He works a full-time job
I don't
as well,
know how
you
he finds the hours in the day.
I'm literally the only
honestly.
one that does this like as a career. You guys work full-time jobs, so that's even more commendable. But this is brutal work. And you're seeing that. You're seeing these media outlets close down. You're seeing YouTube channels close down. You know, the algorithm is what it is. I don't know if I necessarily blame the algorithm entirely. I just think there's so much to consume.
It's not even just the algorithm. It's just the reality of the world right now, too. A lot of people need consistency and normalcy in their lives.
Yeah.
And now more than ever with the insane costs of everything.
Of course.
Housing and existing. I get it.
Yes. Because, spoiler alert, this is not a living wage.
No.
I'm sorry. So if you look at our channel and think we're making bank or something, this is not a living wage.
No,
Let's
I'm
just
an
be clear about
insurance
that.
agent.
Yeah. I think there is some confusion out there about that. No, on a good week, I'm like probably minimum wage pay. A good month, I should say.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's some fun inside baseball for y'all. Thanks for supporting us. And hopefully now the few of you that do listen to this podcast understand the realities of content creation.
And not just
But
us.
I think a lot of people do too. You know, a lot of people are great on our channel about that.
No. Not just this channel, though. Go out there and support the content that you really enjoy. Those content creators deserve your support.
Absolutely. So triple jump. Hope you all land on your feet. I've actually sent a couple comments over, you know, wishing them well and everything. And, you know, if anyone needs a little freelance work in the meantime, feel free to reach out to us. We'll get you some work.
We can't do much, but
Can't do much, but we'll get you something.
For sure.
Get you something going. All right, Silent Signs, let's go through another news story here. This is about Sea of Stars. Did you know a new DLC is dropping?
yes.
You did? Okay, there was a delayed reaction there, so I was concerned.
Sorry, I was still processing the last statement you made, and then you said Sea of Stars, and then okay.
Sorry, I did kind of just go from a really heavy topic right into Sea of Stars.
Hey, Sea of
this is fun.
Stars, yeah, DLC.
That should have been our topic of the day. The YouTubers actually make money and stuff like that. Some do, some don't.
Well, maybe that is the topic of the day now.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We could go with that. Yeah, Sea of Stars. It's getting a DLC, and it's completely free for anyone that bought the game. It finally has a date. So this has been announced for a while, but May 20th, PC, Switch, PS5, everybody that owns the game already will get this Throes of the Watchmaker DLC. And it looks great. It's going to add a new character. You've already gotten some updates to this game. They've improved the combat engine, added up to 3 players, which I really want to try this DLC with you, Silent Signs, and do 2-player mode. I think it would be a blast. I used to, as a kid, love when RPGs featured some kind of a 2-player mode. Remind me of like the SNES days. They had it in like Final Fantasy 3/6.
I used to like playing the Tales games.
Yeah, those were so much fun together, right?
Yeah.
We used to do Tales of Grace's
F.
a lot. Like we played through that whole game, I feel like, right?
Yep.
Brought it to your friend's house even. We were taking it everywhere with us.
We brought the whole PS4.
I was a big
with us.
PS3 guy. I know that's
Was
not
it
the most...
PS3? Damn.
Yeah, I'm not like... I know that's not the most popular PlayStation console out there. I have a real fondness for the PS3. It had so many awesome games. That was like the last console generation that I feel like really took those creative risks with AAA titles. There's a lot of weird stuff on that system that we played, remember? I was buying so many PS3 games.
I remember a lot of weird stuff that, like, I couldn't even tell you what the name of it was. I just remember the weird concepts.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. PS3 was just going all out with the exclusives because their console was struggling initially with the crazy price tag.
Yay.
Flashed back to
Sounds
now.
familiar.
You know? Yeah, they caught up finally. All right, yeah, Throes of the Watchmaker DLC coming to you the 20th. Whole new story. They're saying about like, I think it's like somewhere around 8 hours of content. So this is going to be a really nice, hearty expansion. I know, shout out to PC. We'll be seeing you soon at PAX. Love Sea of Stars. It's like his favorite game in our Discord community. So he's got to be excited about this DLC. Oh, yeah. All right, let's have a little bit of a topic of discussion here, even though we kind of already did.
That's all right.
Let's have another one real quick. We won't dwell on this quite as long.
I'll dwell.
But Going into our news stories earlier, how we talked about the Xbox prices up, obviously Switch games are going up, everything's going up in the AAA scene. That is a trend that I don't see changing anytime soon. Do you see the Silent Signs as an opportunity for indie games now that are priced more affordably to truly shine? And do you think people are going to look to alternatives from AAA games, seeing a lot of people are going to be flat out priced out, myself probably included, in a lot of cases? Is this a good opportunity for indie games, you think? I do, but I will elaborate after you.
I feel like there's going to be some people that might turn to indies, but those people will also first need to have a console to play them on, and a lot of people don't have a PC good enough or think that they have a PC good enough to run a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, like any old laptop can run like a 2D
they can
indie type thing, but yeah, some of the more intense.
So
for sure.
My concern would be that some people will just opt to not play games at all, or have to wait to get a console or a PC that can run even some indie games.
Yeah, there's options out there in the PC market now too. I feel like you can get a pretty affordable, decent laptop that will play the basic indies for you. Actually, Ted on our channel, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Silent Signs. He has a 1070. That's a card from years and years ago at this point. And he's been reviewing games for us just fine, like certain games.
Yeah, but we've looked at even those like pre-built laptops and stuff. That's like $1,200. It
depends what you want. If you want a newer graphics card in there,
that's not cheap.
But you can get cheaper ones
for now.
Yeah. Well, that could change too. But you'd be surprised how old a graphics card could be to run a lot of newer indie games in many cases.
Yeah, maybe some people are going to turn to indies, people that already have a PC or an Xbox or what have you.
Yeah, I was going to say factoring too, just people might be holding on to their PS4 still or their original Switches and stuff like that too.
But then, I don't know, that's not the preferred way to play a lot of games, and that can be a turn-off too. If you're downloading a game on your Switch that's not going to run well, you're going to be like, well, I just wasted this money and I can't return it because we've already talked about the Nintendo return policy.
See, I see this as Valve's in a really good position right now, in my opinion. I think they can sell a lot of Steam Decks in the next year or two.
Maybe.
Because this is a great way to be able to play your PC library, which is very easily and cheaply obtained. A lot of you probably have just games you've collected and for years now on Steam. You've built these libraries. Now you can just get this handheld and you can enjoy all of your indies that way. You're going to have more affordable games. Games are so cheap on Steam in many cases, even some of the newer indies that come out. And if you want to mess around with a dock, you can even go as far as to dock your Steam Deck and play on a screen that way.
All of that's great, though. But if you're a console gamer, like, till death, and some people are,
yep,
they're just not going to do it. If that's what you're comfortable with and that's how you feel like most relaxed playing a game is on a console, sitting on your couch. And some people don't even think about the fact that you could, like, plug your PC into a television
right.
and play
that's what
that
I
way.
do. Yeah.
But then, of course, you need the proper television setup for that too, and that's more money. I think it all just comes down to money, honestly, and some people just aren't going to have enough or think that they have enough to make indies worth it.
Yeah, the numbers out there are pretty staggering. I was looking into this the other day, Silent Signs. It's like, I think it was 86 to 90% of households have either a computer or a laptop in them. But to your point, that doesn't mean they all run games at even a decent level.
Yeah.
That could just be dad's work computer or something like that too.
Yeah, well, I mean, can your laptop run, I don't know, what's something really basic, Buddy Simulator?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Probably.
Absolutely, yeah. All you need, you don't even really need a GPU for that.
But if you're a Souls guy, is your laptop going to run Lies of P well? Probably not.
Also, if you're a hardcore Souls guy, you're probably sticking with AAA anyways, though. There are some Souls games certainly in the AA market.
There's so many Souls games out there now.
Yeah, for sure.
Think of we've played so many even in the last couple of years.
So that's, again, I think, this is a good opportunity for Valve with the Steam Deck. It's powerful enough. It's about a PS4 equivalent. It's going to be more affordable than the Switch 2, and you're going to have a bigger library. So I think they're going to do very well in the next year or two. And they might even announce, a new Steam Deck here in the next year. Who knows? We'll see. I do think indies are going to do very well over this console generation. I do think that certain people are going to be priced out and fed up with AAA games.
Well, here's the other thing, though.
I don't think it's going to be everybody.
No. Here's the other thing, though. People who really love AAA games are just going to play those AAA franchises they love. Nothing is going to stop them from doing that. Nothing is going to stop a Call of Duty guy from playing the next Call of Duty game. Nothing's going to stop a Madden fan from playing the next Madden game.
You don't think any price gets in the way of that?
Nothing's going to stop a true Mario, Super Nintendo fan from playing Mario or Zelda. It doesn't matter if it's $10 more than it was last year. They're still going to buy the new one. That's their bread and butter. That's what they love.
Here's another question for you, Silent Signs, and we've been hearing this a lot in the comments, unfortunately. Is piracy going to go up?
Yes.
Do you think? Because of the price of games?
They're going to try.
I think it is, yes.
Yeah.
And, we've kind of been in this spot where piracy obviously exists, but I feel like people were getting away from it to a degree and not even wanting to bother with, torrents and all the other crap that comes along with it. I don't pirate games at all anymore. I haven't done that since I was probably in middle school or high school, maybe.
I don't care.
There's no reason for me to do that usually, but this gives people a reason in a lot of cases because they don't want to. They justify it in their minds that it's okay because the prices are so outrageous now.
Stupid.
I think it's stupid, but that does give them a reason.
I'm not calling you stupid if this is something you do, but I am saying that is a really dumb rationale for stealing. You are stealing something. Whether it's not physically tangible in your hand or not, it doesn't matter. That is still theft.
Yes. Somebody worked on it. Somebody's losing money from that.
If I go to the mall and I see a beautiful shirt, I don't know. I don't really go to the mall and buy stuff, but I'm just saying, if I saw a beautiful shirt that I really wanted at the mall and it was $50, but that same brand used to sell shirts for $40, that does not give me the right to then steal that shirt because it's $10 more than it used to be.
Yes, but you are incentivizing those people that don't have morality like that. And there are people out there like that.
But I don't get the reasoning.
You want to play the game, but you don't want to pay for it.
No.
Free is better for them.
That is theft.
It is theft. Stealing. Yes, it's absolutely theft. That doesn't mean people don't do it. People do bad things every day in the world. I mean, why is this any different? I don't support it. I don't think you should steal games. I know the work that goes into games and promoting them and feeding people need to feed their families and whatnot.
But yeah, people need to feed their families, but this isn't even a necessity. You don't need this video game or your family's going to starve. You want this video game because you like to play games. You don't need it.
I feel the better stance is to not buy it.
Right.
Because you have no shortage of other games to play anyways. So why go and steal it just because you feel left out of a conversation or something like that? No, it doesn't really make sense to me. But we are seeing an uptick for sure in people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go sail the seas."
I understand hardship. I've lived hardship.
This isn't hardship, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I get that. I don't get justifying then stealing something that's a non-necessity.
No. Well,
as much as I love video games and I've played them my entire 35 years of life, I've never once thought that stealing them was the answer. I'm sorry.
I can tell you for a fact, Silent Signs, and you've been through this too. I have had my house broken into in the past and been robbed of my entire game collection, of things more personal than that. And it is the lowest feeling in the world to have your personal space not only invaded, but things stolen away from you that you worked very hard for. And so because of that happening to me, and, just because I have a sense of morality within me, I guess, I've never wanted to steal games or steal anything, really. I don't even watch bootleg movies or anything like that.
I've left something in the bottom of a cart without ringing it out by accident, and I felt
you feel terrible when
so bad that I've went back to the store and paid for it. That's
right. And I'm not here to say I'm perfect. I don't do stupid stuff or anything like that. But
we do dumb shit daily.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes something bad happening to you to realize how bad it is when you do it to someone else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just next time think about it a little bit for a moment. It's not just a free thing for you. It's taking from someone else. There's real people that worked on those products, even if you don't like the corporation.
Models. It's not their faults necessarily. If you don't like what Nintendo's doing with pricing, there are better ways. You don't support the game.
I can give you a list of 10 indie games in whatever genre that you prefer that you're stealing the game from. I can give you a list of 10 indie games that you can probably get for a fraction of the cost of that Nintendo game.
I promise you, if you watch our Hidden Indie Gems videos every Friday, I will get you 10 games that are cheaper than one AAA game.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Exactly. There's other ways.
All right, well, that was an interesting topic, Silent Signs. Let's hear from you in the comments below, everybody. I know it went in a few different directions there. But are indie games going to see an uptick in sales? Let's hear from you in the comments below. Leave one if you're watching on YouTube. You can leave a comment there. In fact, I think even Spotify does allow comments if you enjoy listening to this show on Spotify. I imagine a lot of you on podcasts and Spotify or wherever you listen to YouTube music are driving when you listen to stuff. I don't know. Maybe you're at work and you can't leave a comment, but if you can, we appreciate it. We love to read them, like we're going to do right now. Silent Signs, we had a few last week. This was about Souls games and whether they were gatekeeping. Always a fun topic around here at I Dream of Indie Games. We've had this topic a few times. This comment comes from Bill. Is it Bill B. Runs? Yes. Bill B. Runs, 1628.
Or it could be Bill Bruns.
Bill Bruns. You know what? That probably makes more sense. I was thinking of that company. Isn't there a company called Billy Billy? It's like a Korean company or something like that?
Maybe.
I don't know, but that's not what they're doing. Anyways, Souls-likes don't go far enough. I would like an extreme haptics controller that shocks me with 50 volts every time I die.
Well, here's what you do. You buy a taser and you hook it up to your control. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you remember that? Was that an arcade game like Uncle Fester or something where you had to hold on to the sticks and the voltage would go up?
Maybe.
And you would just you would see how strong you could hold on to it. How much can you take? That machine was awesome.
I've never seen that, but I mean, that makes sense.
Those are probably banned now because I'm sure something bad happens.
Definitely. Send somebody into
really
cardiac arrest or something.
Oh, I've totally played one before. You never really saw one in the wild? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were awesome. Forchi, 5456. Rightsy in. Sometimes games are for different people. People make cozy games that I can't play because my ADHD won't allow me to match the pace. I don't see a difference between that and Souls games. This is true, as we discussed. Not every game is for everybody.
But there's a million that are for you, and that's fine.
I would just like for Souls games to be a little more for me. That's all, because I like a lot of aspects of them.
Well, too damn bad.
And we'll just pull one more here from Cactus Man 07 Pim. Thank you, Cactus Man, for writing in. Targeted audience won't be alienated. People complaining about gatekeeping don't play. They'll annoy J.K. Rowling instead of reading a book. What? I don't know.
Wait, okay. Targeted audience won't be alienated.
Right,
okay, so the people who play Souls games won't be alienated. People complaining about gatekeeping don't play. They annoy J.K. Rowling instead of reading a book.
Something. Harry Potter lady, right?
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week. We've got a lot of videos coming your way here at I Dream of Indie Games. I should pull a better comment next time.
No, that one was perfect.
Thank you for writing in, though, Cactus Man. Yeah, the usual stuff around the channel, but we are heading to PAX, so I'm going to be working overtime Monday and Tuesday, getting everything lined up. Should still be a full week of content for everybody out there. A bunch of reviews. We've got indies, 17 of them this week, brand new releases. That'll be out Monday for everybody else. It's already available for Patreon members. And then we have our hidden indie gems on Friday. This is going to suck. I have to make 2 lists in 2 days. But I'll get it done. I promise. Our PAX coverage will go live, unless something terrible happens, Saturday. So we are leaving PAX on Friday this year.
No, we're going Thursday and Friday.
Right,
and then
we will not be there
Saturday.
We will not
morning.
be there Saturday. Thank you for the clarification. And thank you for clearing up that last comment, too, by the way.
I
tried.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could throw that into a chat GPT and ask it.
No, I understand I understand what they're saying. I just don't.
It would just be funny to see what an AI thought of that. Be like, would the AI be like, fuck off?
No. AI has not told me to fuck off yet. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the channel for more indie gaming coverage. Voice to the voiceless. For far too long, you, the gamer, have been denied honest gaming coverage. Indie developers and publishers have lost their voice, but no longer. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames to join this epic campaign for indie visibility. The echo chamber trembles as our message grows louder. Voice to the voiceless.